Can the police force you to do the drunk driving eye test while sitting in your car on the side of the road, which you don't know can hurt you? Imagine this, it's Saturday, you're just coming from the softball game. It's the last game of the season, you're not a drinker, but everybody wants to stick around and have some pizza and beer. Well, you have half a beer, literally half a beer and some pizza. You're driving home, you're doing 45 and a 40, you get lit up, you get pulled over. The officer walks up, he smells a little something, he's not sure, right? You sound great, but he says, hey, stick your head out a little bit, tilt your head this way, and follow my finger with your eyes only. The legal issue is are you required to do this? My name's Patrick Silva. I'm a DUI lawyer located in Southern California. I've been practicing for the last 24 years, focused on DUI defense. In this video, I'm going to teach you whether or not you are legally required to do any of the field sobriety tests, let alone the drunk driving eye test. 2, how the police can trick you into doing the field sobriety test without you even knowing. And 3, how doing the drunk driving eye test can hurt you even when you've never been drinking. There's an old saying, you don't have to walk up to the hangman's gallows, put the noose around your neck and hit the tripwire for him. Same thing goes in field sobriety tests. The issue is, are you legally required to participate in the field sobriety test? Let's back up just a little bit. The field sobriety tests are governed by this federal body called NHTSA, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Here's the key. Not one state in the union that says you are required legally to do any of the field sobriety tests when you have been suspected of driving under the influence. Now, let's go on to the second phase. How does the officer get you to do the test thinking that you have to? Let's look at some common phrases that they employ. Here's number 1. Excuse me, sir. I need you to step out of your vehicle and do a couple tests to make sure you're safe to drive. This almost doesn't sound like a legal requirement. It sounds like, oh, it's just a safety check. That's one of the most prevalent issues that we see, or one of the most prevalent ways that they get you to do the field sobriety test without you even knowing. And here's my favorite. Oh, you know what? Would you mind doing a couple tests just to make sure you're okay to drive? And if you're good, you'll be on your way. Hello, what are you thinking? Oh, all right, all I have to do is pass these little tests and I'll be fine. I'm going home. Guess what, Johnny? You ain't going home. Then you sit there with an inquisitive look on your face like, oh, wow. Well, sir, it's just standard procedure. Everybody does them. Well, what's the implication there? Well, if everybody does them, it must be right, must be legal. Yeah, maybe not. Sir, I'm going to need you to do some field sobriety tests. I just need to make sure you're safe to drive. That sounds like words of command versus words of request. Big difference. But officer, am I required? Well, if you really don't have anything to hide, we'll just do the test, and if everything checks out, you'll be on your way. Again, sidestep your question on whether you are legally required to do it or not, and gave you an inference that, hey, you should be doing them because if you pass, you're going home. Then we get into the question, is the officer legally required to tell you that these are purely voluntary tests? The question, I haven't seen in any of the police manuals I've read that it's an instruction to give the person that it's voluntary. I have read one of the standard operating manuals for one of our local agencies, and it did say, make sure you tell them that it's voluntary. Out here in California, I do see a good portion of the California Highway Patrol informing folks that, hey, this is a voluntary test. This gets to the bigger question. What happens if you say, you know what, I'd rather not participate in these monkey see, monkey do tests today. You got a bad back, bad knee, old injuries, you're not a young chicken anymore. Well, the officer's going to have to make an assessment. You haven't blown into the breath machine. He's going to decide, is he arresting you or not? The beauty of it, you didn't walk up to the gallows, you didn't put the noose around your neck, and you didn't give them a ton of evidence to show that you're impaired, because usually they have 1+1, which is they say these field sobriety tests, your inability to do it means you're impaired, and that your blood alcohol level means that you're impaired as well. What if you fail these, but your breath or blood comes back in an 06? Then they say, oh, can't do the monkey see, monkey do field sobriety test, so that means he's impaired. But your chemical test shows that you're not. Think about it. Now on to the third question. How can doing these eye tests or the field sobriety test hurt you? There's an old saying in law enforcement that eyes never lie. If they can get you to do the voodoo eye test, then there's a quote, a correlation that they're going to say that they are seeing clues, and these clues mean that you have alcohol, and that they are going to try to equate the alcohol in your system to a certain level. If you don't do the eye test, you take away that inference. And the other danger is that there's other causes of the horizontal gaze nystagmus, which is the jerking of the eyes. It could be illness, it could be the flashing lights from the police officer, and there's a certain portion of the population that just has a natural resting eye bounce. That's why you never want to do the eye test. Now let's go on to why the field sobriety test can hurt you. And this really goes back to the government's own study. Back in 1975, NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, they gave a block grant of money. I forgot how much it was, but they paid Dr. Marceline Burns, and she took 238 people in this test, 10 cops, and 6 different tests. Now, these 238 people, they came in over the course of a year. She got some drunk, some a little bit, and some with zero alcohol in their body. Then the officers came in and they gave them the test. They gave them the eye test, they gave them the one-leg stand, and they gave them the walk and turn. And the officers only had one question to answer. Is this person over the limit or under the limit? Here's what's very, very interesting. Almost 20% of the people that the officers deemed were over the limit had zero alcohol in their body. So what does that mean? That means that the field sobriety test, one, cannot be used to say that a person's impaired. Although it's used in court all the time, and you'll have good, hardworking police officers who get up there and they believe that this stuff really is an indication of impairment. It just ain't so. When I teach lawyers field sobriety tests on Saturdays with coffee and donuts in us, no one can do them. No one drinks either. This is Attorney Patrick Silva. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to exercise your constitutional rights. Silva out.